welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes YouTube channel here for a preview video for the Miami Dolphins taking on the the Packers on Thanksgiving night. Man, I'm freaking thrilled for this one. We got an 8 p.m. kickoff on Thanksgiving night. So by that point, everybody has settled in. Everybody has ate their dessert, their dinner, all that good stuff. And they're just locked in on pretty much what seems to be an exciting football game with yours truly, Dolphins taking on the Packers. The Packers are 8-3. They're coming into this game hot as ever, man. I mean, the losses that they have this season was week 1 against Philly. They lost to Minnesota by only 2 points, and they lost to the Detroit Lions. And listen, the Detroit Lions look like they're on their way to possibly the Super Bowl. So they're a team, obviously, that is not going to be a tough out. All right. This is a good football team, and we're playing in Lambeau Field. Temperatures are supposed to be about 19 degrees. So that's another factor to mention in there. The Dolphins got themselves a prime time slot against a playoff team in a very cold weather game. Ladies and gentlemen, if anyone is not nervous, what have you been watching over the last couple of years? You absolutely have to be nervous about this one, because this is what Dolphin fans want to see. Is this going to be the time where the Miami Dolphins and Tua perform up to the level of their opponent on a big time spot with the stakes super high? I mean, the room for error is very small now for the Dolphins. Remember, and this is going on throughout the rest of the season because of the hole they dug themselves into. But the Dolphins are playing good right now. They're playing good football. They're winning in the right ways. They got themselves a 3-game winning streak. So they're heading into this matchup with confidence, somewhat healthy enough to get the job done. I will say that Jalen Waddle was a question mark this season. He's coming off an 100-plus yard game with a touchdown. Tua had a 4-touchdown game, probably his best performance all year. He played well against Buffalo. He's looked great since his return. The Dolphins' defense is balling. The Dolphins are dominating time of possession. The Dolphins' penalties. The penalties are going down. There's so many things to get excited about. This is what the Dolphins do to people. All right. They perform, they lead you to believe like, yo, this is going to be the difference. This is going to be the turning point. This time it's different. Man, how bad do I want to say that? But it's just the Dolphins haven't shown me it. Will this be the time? Listen, after last year, what they did to me and how much they broke my heart, I cannot say here, as bad as I want to, and believe me, I really want to just believe like the Dolphins are going to go into Lambeau in this cold weather game and beat the Green Bay Packers. I want to say that, but it's just like I have to just lower the expectations because the heartbreak hurts so much. But best believe I'm rooting for the boys, and I am very excited. But let's talk about this matchup. So we're headed to Green Bay, as I mentioned, to take on the Packers. The Packers look freaking good, man. As I mentioned, they're 8-3. Losing 3 games to playoff teams, the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And Jordan Love is a quarterback that, as you see the stats on the screen, he hasn't had a tremendous season, but everybody that knows football knows Jordan Love can play the game of football. One thing I do know here, he's thrown an interception in every single game, with the exception of the last one against the San Francisco 49ers. He did have 2 touchdowns, however, but still under 200 yards. So you see, for his season, 18 total touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Not too, great of a stat line. He did deal with an injury the first game of the season knocked him out for a couple of weeks there. But the fact that he's still a threat, all right? He is still a very competent quarterback with tremendous upside. His other playmakers are balling too. Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, they have options out there in the passing game. And listen, their big addition, Josh Jacobs, look at his stat line. Now, this stat line is different. I mean, he's only 60 something yards away from a 1,000 rush yard season. Best believe he's probably going to get that on Thursday night against the Dolphins. He has 7 total touchdowns, but look at the way he's been playing as of late, man. From top to bottom, San Francisco had 106 yards against Chicago, 76, Detroit, 95, 127 against Jacksonville, and 76. So over 75 rushing yards in his last 5 games. So listen, and a 3-touchdown game against the Niners. I mean, this dude is coming into this game hot. They're probably going to ride this guy. Josh Jacobs looks good. He's going to be a guy that we have to keep an eye out for. But listen, you got the Dolphins on the other end. Like I mentioned earlier, Dolphins have shown so many things that are impressive that I think they can take going forward. I mentioned it earlier. The penalties have been lower and lower each week, which I love to see. The Dolphins are not beating themselves. The Dolphins are also playing some high IQ level football. I mentioned Tua. Teams have taken away the deep ball, and he is just picking them apart with just all the little things, using his accuracy to his advantage, his pocket presence, hitting people on those underneath routes. Jonnu Smith has been a huge stock up. That's been awesome to see. The Dolphins also have been dominating time of possession, as I mentioned, and the Dolphins defense continues to do this stat right here. That's 7 games in a row this past Sunday that Anthony Weaver's defense has allowed 7 points or less to opposing teams in the first half. And note, 5 out of those 7 games, only 6 points were allowed. Only 6 points allowed. So the Dolphins defense has been trending in the right direction. They've been balling all year. Anthony Weaver has done a terrific freaking job. You're going against a Packers team that also has a good defense, similar to us. All right. They're defending the pass well. They're defending the run well. They're doing the little things. But my 3 keys to victory, this is what everybody wants to know, right? What are the 3 keys to victory for the Dolphins? To go into Lambeau and finally just shut the narratives up, man. How sweet would that feel, right? This is what I'm looking for. First of all, in the 3 losses that the Green Bay Packers have lost this season, opposing teams are rushing over 120 yards against them. That includes the Detroit Lions. That includes the Philadelphia Eagles. That includes the Minnesota Vikings. Granted, all of those teams have very good running backs, but so do we. All right, you're talking about the Lions, who have Gibbs and Montgomery. They put up over 120. Saquon Barkley out in Philadelphia. And then you have Aaron Jones in there in Minnesota. But the Dolphins have 3 guys that are capable. You got Devon Achane. You got Raheem Mostert. You got Jalen Wright. Granted, he did fumble. All right. But Jalen Wright can still run the hell out of the football. And I believe he can get some touches in this game. My first key is run the football. Stick to what's working. Running the football has led you to have a nice little balanced attack here with the offense and the passing game, and you're putting up points. We're talking about a Dolphins team that just couldn't put up points earlier in the season. They were the laughingstock. They were 32nd in the NFL, for crying out loud. The last 2 weeks, the Dolphins have scored over 30 points. I love to see that. Try to keep on staying with the things that are working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I always say that. And for some reason, somebody wants to change it. Why change? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Run the freaking football. If you stick to that, you run the hell out of football, you have a great chance of beating the Green Bay Packers. My second key to victory, listen, the Green Bay Packers are a team that gets penalized a lot. In all 3 losses, they were penalized about 10 times, if not more. Okay? The Dolphins, on the other hand, they have been a team that, they do get themselves penalized, but the last couple of weeks, they've cleaned things up. Stick to cleaning things up, all right? Clearly, whatever's working in practice, keep everything the same. Another thing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Green Bay Packers are a good defense, but they're going to get into trouble. The offense and the defense does commit penalties. The Dolphins have to be ready to capitalize off those penalties. Don't be the team that's matching that same energy, all right? If you see sloppy play, don't match it, all right? Take advantage of it. Something the Dolphins need to do. Be ready to take advantage of those penalties. Normally, the team that gives up more penalties is a team that ends up losing, all right? So make Green Bay do that. And the third key to victory, listen, this should be a shocker to nobody, okay? This is no stats. Tua Tagovailoa. Third key, you, my man. We are all about results at this point. Tua, I've seen you do well, man. I've seen you ball out, but I have not seen you beat a good playoff team on prime time in cold weather. The narratives are loud, and they're getting louder because we just care about results at the end of the day. Now, Tua said, hey, I'm ready to kill the narratives. I love that you're saying that, but you also told me that against Buffalo before you even got concussed and you threw 3 interceptions. Listen, I'm just calling it for how it is. I've heard this come out of Tua's mouth all the damn time. I want to see results. This is what I want to see, just results. Stop talking the smack. Stop saying what you're going to do, and just freaking show me, show the fan base, show the haters. Yo, show the world, man. Just show the world that this is the time. Until I see that, I cannot believe it. But God, I'm hoping that Tua brings it, man, because we need him. All right. If he's able to just play the way he's been playing over the last couple of weeks, the Dolphins have the best chance to win. It's obvious. When Tua's out there, we have a chance to win. And that's what you need for this game. Man, I'm excited for this one, man. I really am. I'm not going to even lie to you. I'm super excited. I can't wait for this game. Probably the best game of the day. No, definitely the best game of the day on Thanksgiving. So I'm glad that it's at 8 o'clock. It's not at a window where you're kind of in between Thanksgiving. So you're already just full, ready to watch the game and just chill out, man. I'm excited. But if I had to give my scoring prediction, as much as this pains me, Dolphin fans, I love the winning streak. I love what we've been doing. And I'm rooting for my boys. Like, you already know that. But I got to call it realistically, man. I am going to pick the Green Bay Packers to win this game by a final score of 23-17. I got the Dolphins going down on this one. Unfortunately, the only reason I say that, it's nothing about the way they've been playing. They've shown me so many great things. I couldn't ask for anything more at this point based on the way we started the season. But, man, I have not seen enough. All right. I have not seen this team go out and do these things. Once they go out and do these things, if they go into Lambeau, beating this playoff caliber team in Green Bay, in this weather, in primetime slot, and Tua plays well, I might look at those later tough games down the line differently. And those later tough games, I'm talking about the one against San Francisco. That's a big one. You got some big ones coming up. But, man, this would be absolutely huge if the Dolphins go make it a 4-game winning streak, winning this type of game. You win this type of game. And I think it's like you're making the playoffs. Like you are catapulting yourself from an energy standpoint, from a belief standpoint, from the fans, from the players. Like you take off from here. So this game is absolutely huge. This game can cause you multiple wins down the line. It's not just about the one right now. So this is a huge matchup for the Dolphins. This is a huge game for the Dolphins. And by God, I hope they're ready for this, man. I really do, man. Listen, I'm going to be watching. I'm picking the Dolphins to lose, but believe me, Dolphin fans, I am rooting for me to be wrong, and I hope I am wrong. But they got to show me, and I think they will play a tough game. Okay? We're not going to get smacked. I don't think we get smacked. I think the Dolphins have some belief coming in. They're going to ride some of that confidence going in here, which is why I have us losing by less than a touchdown. I think we're going to fight. I think we're going to bring it. But will we make the plays down the stretch when they matter more? Right? When the pressure's at the highest, when we need to drain the clock and manage the clock, when we need to strike back, when we need to get a turnover, what are we going to do? Are the Dolphins going to be able to do what they haven't done, which is win a cold weather game against a playoff caliber team? That remains to be seen. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the game. Go Dolphins. Let me know your scoring predictions down below. Subscribe to the channel. And please hit the thumbs up button to support the show. Fins up. Tua, please shut the narratives, man. We all rooting for you.